What is up, guys? We get the 1000th Raw review. This is Chase Oliver 68. And remember, guys, check out my new podcast, Chilling with Chase. Well, it's an old podcast. I'm just redoing it. Checking it out with the Mr. Justin 323. And when you're on my podcast, your YouTube channel gets plugged by the whole week from my channel. And you know I make a lot of videos, guys, so I guess it helps you guys out. And not only that, pretty much you get everything. You get the podcast. The episode will be posted in the link every week. So definitely check it out. If you want to be on the podcast, make sure you have a YouTube account. It doesn't have to be about professional wrestling. It can be about video games, sports. It can be about anything. Just message me and we will get the podcast going, and it will be uploaded every Monday. So definitely check that out. Anyways, time to start the 1000th Raw review. So 1000th Raw kicked out with DX, and it was cool. DX was out there. The crowd was all into it. And then Shawn Michaels was like, wasn't there more of us? And now came X-Pac, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn. It was very nostalgic. And then Damien Sandow came out. And Sandow got a nice little rub, insulting DX. What a good rub for Sandow. Sandow gets a super kick pedigree combo. We get to suck it. Very fun opening for Monday Night Raw. Nothing really to complain here. It was a nice little opening. I really did enjoy it. A tad bit. It was fun with my friends around too. Maybe that's why this Raw is a little bit more enjoyable for me, because I have friends that help me make fun of certain segments and help me, laugh along and mark out. So, yeah, pretty much. Next up after, we got DX, we got like a 6-man tag match, and it featured Sheamus, Rey Mysterio, and Sin Cara facing off against Ziggler, Jericho, and I believe, I forgot who it was. Del Rio? I think it was Del Rio. Sorry, this is just a crazy Raw that it's really hard to remember everything off the top of my head. So, this match was blah. It was like, why was it on here? And the ending was weird, because I understand Ziggler got codebreaker by Jericho, but really? Jericho gets punched like that? It was like, oh, okay. And so, Team Babyface wins. Let's move on. So we're moving on. We get more hype for the AJ Daniel Bryan wedding. They're pretty much hyping that up for the whole night, and I was really excited for this wedding. It was funny when AJ was talking about how this show was mentally unstable. Then they show Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and then they show R-Truth and Roddy Piper, doing jump rope, and then they show Mae Young's child grown up, and I'm like, wow, and that was pretty crazy. And so I guess it was all right. And then I believe we got to the wedding after that. And during the wedding was it was cool that Slick was there. I'm happy that Slick was there. He was very funny with the marriage. I really did like that marriage scene. But then the one thing that I did not like was AJ Lee saying yes, yes, yes. And so I thought they were going to get married. And then I was kind of like, wow, there's no one coming out to, make this wedding crazy. And then all of a sudden Vince McMahon comes out. And Vince said, and I thought Vince proposed to AJ, because she said she was accepting another proposal. So I was like, you telling me Vince McMahon fucking AJ now? Holy shit, man, this girl knows how to get it in. And then all of a sudden, it was announced, Vince McMahon said, the new Raw GM is AJ Lee. It's just whatever, to be honest. I know a lot of people like AJ Lee. I know a lot of people are fans of her. Don't get me wrong. I do like who AJ Lee is as a wrestler, but as a general manager, really? It's like, is she that popular that you have to make her a full-time general manager for Monday Night Raw? It's like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Maybe I'll have to wait a couple weeks to get into this whole general manager idea for AJ, but just as of now, I'm not a fan of it, just saying. I believe we got another match, but really, to be honest, I don't really want to talk about all the matches on this card. So let's just skip over afterwards. We got Daniel Bryan. He was pissed off that he got stood up at his wedding. Out comes CM Punk. CM Punk pretty much does his usual insults to Daniel Bryan. And out comes The Rock. And I was so pumped. And I was like, oh my goodness. And The Rock, he was on key tonight. I really loved it. Calling Daniel Bryan Oompa Loompa and all the troll from The Hobbit. And then all this other bullshit. And then afterwards, he turns to CM Punk. And he says, I'm having a WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble. Bam! Right there. He's getting the title shot. And now, it may solidify me going to the Royal Rumble. I don't know if I am, but I would definitely love to go to a Royal Rumble to see The Rock fight for the WWE Championship. And so then afterwards, CM Punk, just said, oh, I can't wait. And then afterwards, Daniel Bryan saying, no, I'm going to face you. And then The Rock is like, no, you're not, Oompa Loompa. Get the fuck out of the ring. And then The Rock said, I got a wedding present for you. Rock bottom Daniel Bryan. and he went out with a blaze of glory. That's definitely a great highlight segment. Another great highlight segment from Monday Night Raw was actually the Triple H Brock Lesnar segment, and I was actually, pleasantly surprised with the segment. Triple H and Paul Heyman kicked it off, and they were doing their usual thing, and Triple H was getting mad about Paul Heyman talking about his family. And speaking of family, Stephanie McMahon comes out, and it's like, damn, girl, you look fine in that dress. Stephanie, please let me have sex with you. That's what I was thinking the whole time. I don't know what you guys were. But Stephanie McMahon comes out and says, do not ever talk about my children. And then Paul Heyman, he gets owned up the ass. Like, Stephanie's like, you failed at WCW. You failed with ECW. While my dad still has his company. You're in the real deal mirror. You're all the way back there. We're over here. You're still in freaking, 80,000 miles behind us. And Paul Heyman just got so upset and said, fine, it's on. Lesnar versus HHH at SummerSlam. And so then he starts insulting Stephanie, and then Stephanie just jumps in, bam, 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 starts hitting Paul Heyman, and then out comes the big bad Brock Lesnar. Do, and Lesnar comes out, and Lesnar, and Triple H, their brawl was okay, but the one thing I didn't like is really Triple H had to, beat Lesnar like that. I mean, you're supposed to make Lesnar look like a dominant force, and now he looked just like a bitch. He didn't look like anything special. He looked like a bitch. Seriously, he didn't look anything special. And I don't understand that point. I mean, you could have had Lesnar beat down Triple H and then have DX come out, and so it gives Brock Lesnar an incentive to, attack certain DX members. That would make sense, but instead, it doesn't do anything. And it just proves why I'm not interested in this match, because I just feel Triple H is going to win. It just feels like he's going to win, and I'm not going to be a fan of it. Oh, and we also, before these segments, we got Brodus Clay and Dude Love. Jack Swagger dropped in 2 seconds, so I really need to talk about that. And we didn't get Ryback. No, Ryback! Why? Anyways, moving on forward, Heath Slater had a match, and he called out any Raw legend and said, I'm going to make it a no DQ and count-out match. And so, out comes Lita, and I'm like, fuck yeah, Lita. And then Lita's like, whoa, hold up, Heath. Before we start the match, I got protection. APA comes out, Bradshaw and Farouk, they look fucking good, and then Heath Slater's like, no, I'm not dealing with this shit. And then every legend that he had to deal with, coming out to the Road Warrior Animal theme, of course, that they had come out for Raw previously, they came out and they beat up on Heath Slater. Heath Slater took a twist of fate, clothesline from hell, moonsault, and it all ended with the damn by Ron Simmons. So, very good segment. I really did enjoy that segment. But this, to me, was one of my favorite segments of the night, and every superstar involved got the rub. Kane, come out, and then all of a sudden Jinder Mahal music hits, and he says, no, there ain't going to be no match. I'm tired of the damn disrespect. And I'm like, damn, dude, this is legit. And all of a sudden, Undertaker. I was so excited. Taker comes out, and the Brothers of Destruction once again back together, and everyone. I know people are going to say, oh, well, they got buried. But it's like, that's a good rub for these guys to, be in a segment with the Brothers of Destruction. The people getting Tombstone, Kurt Hawkins, and Hunico, they get featured on SmackDown a lot anyways. It's not like they're jobbers on SmackDown. They get featured a lot. So I was fine with who got Tombstone. I didn't think it hurt anyone. It's one of my favorite segments of the night. Great overall segment. Undertaker Kane, awesome segment. And I was surprised to see the Dead Man here tonight. I'm not going to lie. So, before we get, to the WWE Championship match, we get The Rock, saying, good job, John Cena, winning the Money in the Bank. Good job. And now you got to face me at Royal Rumble if you win. And Cena's like, I want that chance again, so let's do it. And now we get to our, oh, yeah. And I got to talk about Charlie Sheen. So, I guess Charlie Sheen and Daniel Bryan are going to feud at SummerSlam. Let's just hope Daniel Bryan doesn't lose. That would be pathetic. So then we get on to the WWE Championship match featuring Cena versus Best in the World, CM Punk. And I'm not going to lie, this match was decent. It wasn't one of their best matches, but with the time that they had to work with, it was pretty decent. And CM Punk and Cena, it was okay, and then all of a sudden the ref got bumped. Out came Big Show. Big Show knocked out Cena. CM Punk did jack shit during this whole exchange when Big Show was picking on Cena. And then Punk throws the referee in, tries to go for the pin, fails. And then Punk goes for the GTS, gets locked into the STF. And then Big Show cost Cena the WWE Championship by attacking Cena. So Cena won. So my question is this. Every Money in the Bank winner has won, right? So since Cena got attacked, that means Cena won. He just didn't win the title. So I guess Cena didn't really fail at the cash in. I guess he still won because they say every Money in the Bank winner has successfully cashed in and won. They didn't say win the championship. They always say won. So Cena won. So I guess he's technically not the first ever to fail. But man, I don't know. It was just a stupid ending. And then out comes The Rock, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. See him attack the Big Show again brought back good memories. And when he was going for the People's Elbow, all of a sudden CM Punk attacked The Rock. And I started becoming ultimate mark for The Rock. And I was getting mad at Punk. I was saying, fuck you to Punk. I was grabbing my Punk shirt and throwing it and saying, you're a piece of shit. And that's what I like, when I can get emotionally attached to a feud. And I'm telling you, WWE, if The Rock and CM Punk does not happen at Royal Rumble, I'm not going. I'm not going to order that show. I need to see Rock versus CM Punk. That is the match I want to see. That's the only match I want to see at Royal Rumble. I know I forgot some stuff to talk about in this Raw review. Sorry, it's just that I kind of really want to wrap it up real quick. It was just 3 hours, and I watched it late, and all this other stuff. The Miz won the IC title, so congratulations to The Miz. But overall, this 1000th Raw, it pretty much satisfied me. I didn't think it overly satisfied me. It did satisfy me, though. Pretty good episode for WWE. There was only one element missing. One element missing. Where the fuck was Stone Cold? Seriously, we have Hornswoggle and Santino giving out dolls, but we can't get Stone Cold Steve Austin? You kidding me? That was the only downer to me. That was an ultimate downer, because Stone Cold is what made Monday Night Raw entertaining for me as a child. So, it's whatever. But I did like with the IC title match how Bret Hart, when he announced The Miz, he was very not satisfied too, because Bret Hart and The Miz feuded back in 2009. So good job WWE on that part. But overall, satisfying episode of Monday Night Raw. What do you guys think about the 1000th episode? Leave a comment down below. Check out the podcast. You know the gist of things. I'll see you all later. This is Chase Oliver, 68.